Welcome, Bob from New Wave Therapy today. And what we're going to do today is do some more advanced training in light therapy. And today it's not in red light therapy. We're going to move on to green light therapy. Our green light therapy units are basically the same housing. They look identical. They have a different function. They do specific jobs, just like the red light does. It's a more centralized situation rather than the red light. The red light being the workhorse of light therapy. But again, it's a 5-function unit. It has the high beam, the low beam, and the medium beam, and the pulsing, and then the secondary pulsing. Does all the same thing as far as its operation. It loads the same way, takes the 3 batteries. The difference is the color of the light. The color of the light is kind of very special, and it has been for a while. We've used it for over 5 years in our own situations that we do out in the field virtually every day. But today, green light therapy has a wide variety of potential uses, and it's all based on new and existing research studies that are happening at the university level, at hospital levels, at research centers, not only in the United States but throughout the world. And what it's showing is there's many contributions that are being made in the areas of helping people get better sleep, pain relief, depression management, migraine relief, which has become a really big area for green light therapy. And then also there are skin improvements that are happening with the use of green light therapy. Now, managing pain with green light therapy, again, just like the red light, it has no adverse or side effects, but it's not like sedatives. And because it is pain relief, it does help with pain. And if you're using sedatives, you start having, your body starts to build up an immunity to a certain amount of these sedatives. So consequently, you have to take more and more, increase the dosage, starts creating a situation where you might become dependent upon it. And actually, because of that alone, the use of not having to use, the not having to use sedatives, it's become one of the main motivating factors in research area in green light therapy. Now, as in other videos, I'm going to start with asking a couple of questions. As you think about these questions as we go through, look for the answers as I go through the entire presentation. So, does anyone know what cervicogenic headaches are and who they affect? The second question I want you to think about, does anyone understand what encephalins are and where they're located? So those are the 2 questions. We're also going to touch on words such as seasonal affective disorder, SAD or SAD. You might know people that are affected by the changing seasons. They become more emotional or whatever. That's SAD. Post-traumatic stress disorder, which has really been the last 10 years really out in the eye of the public. It's also not just in people. It's not just in war veterans. It's in children. It's even in animals. We also want to find out about vascular headaches. What are vascular headaches? What are cluster headaches? And migraine headaches? And why are they all different? We also want to touch on the word encephalins and the word endogenous. And the last word would be cervicogenic. These are all words that are very important and have all been brought to the surface basically through all this research in green light therapy. But there's some other points initially. One is the sleep area. We mentioned about how it helps people with sleep. Now, green light promotes sleep. The U.S. Coast Guard is doing a study with their personnel, basically the personnel that are working night shifts. And they're determining that the specific use of green light and varying levels of it and amounts of it help people working through the night shift stay awake, stay alert, don't become so drowsy. And they're continuing this research, and hopefully this will really bring out a lot of new situations to help people that are working night shifts in all types of industries. The military is also on the East Coast doing a massive study with PTSD and returning war veterans, and they're getting great results using the green light. And PTSD students, or PTSD people that suffer tremendously from that, and because green light seems to work on the emotions, and they're having the greatest results working with those people with the green light. They have tried other lights, but none have been as successful as the green light. Moving on to pain relief. Studies are showing that in some cases, green light, LED green light, is more effective when it's used in specifically targeted areas, like the red light, which does also target pain. The green light seems to be doing just as good a job, and in some particular cases, even a better job than red light. One of these areas is depression, and along with PTSD studies, it's starting to show that green light has an effect on all of the emotions, just as I mentioned before. Emotions are really a controlling factor. So getting on to one of the most important points that I want to cover is migraine relief. Headaches of all kinds are showing tremendous results with the use of specifically targeted green light. It's a known fact that about 15% of the U.S. population suffers from migraines. And a migraine headache is a vascular headache. And a migraine headache is a complex neurological disorder. And it's recognized as a one-sided headache. And it's accompanied by throbbing, nausea, extreme sensitivity to light, noise, and or smell. But a migraine is more than just a headache. It's also associated with difficulty in finding words, irritability, anxiety, stress, and even countless other symptoms that can accompany these attacks. And as people avoid light, it interferes with careers, it interferes with schooling, it interferes with personal lives, and in fact, life overall is affected by anyone who has a migraine. They understand that the whole world stops until that migraine is taken care of. Now, the fifth point I want to cover is that of skin issues. Green light is starting to work many different areas as far as skin problems, such as dilated capillaries, sagging skin, and even under eye circles, hyperpigmentation, and even sunspots. Now, cervicogenic headaches affect the majority of headache sufferers. In other words, the other 85% of the people that don't have migraines. And they're a result of pain that surrounds the muscles, the tendons, the fascias, and even the nerves. And the use of green light has taught us a new word for our body that produces an opiate-like natural particle. And that word is encephalins. What their function is to create pain-killing proteins that are found in every living creature, from earthworms to us. In other words, the entire food chain. And because the use of green light can trigger because the use of green light, LED lights, trigger these encephalins without the harmful effect of opiates like morphine, oxycodone, or even fentanyl, exposure to green LED light has the ability to release the body's own endogenous opioids. And endogenous means growing or originating from within another organism. So basically that covers most of the stuff that is the difference between red light and green light. It's an area that's going to be constantly changing and upgrading. We're already looking to a lot of areas that we've never looked at before, because when we first started using green light on a regular basis, it was close to 5 years ago. We found it was helpful to deal with an emotional situation, even in animals. Now we're starting to find that it's helpful in areas of pain, and other things such as that. So, and it was not long before the new information that was presented. It shows the areas of sleep, pain relief, depression management, migraine relief, even skin improvements are all areas affected by green LED light. It's an area that you have to be kind of open to. You have to start thinking out of the box. You have to think, well, will the green light work better than the red light? We're looking at these things constantly, and I think you should be too. And it's another area that's going to allow you to be more openly accepted and relied upon by your clientele if you start using lights together. And in our new manual, you'll actually find, in our second edition, you'll actually find situations where you'll see green dots as far as areas to place the light on the body that shows in green light. Now, if you don't have a green light at this time, and you can use the red in its place. It just will not be as definitely precisely effective in that spot. We also have other protocols that actually show the use of red light and green light together. These are all things that you can find in the new second edition manual that comes with all our red lights. So as far as lights at the practitioner level, we would very much like to have you come back and see us again, and I want to thank you for coming by.